Hi everyone and welcome back to Blues Focus TV for another 5 yards video. Yes, if you enjoyed the first one, then hopefully you'll enjoy this one even more. I have a couple more things to say as well before we get going. I'm going to get going much quicker in this one than I did the last one. Obviously, I know I spent like 10 minutes explaining how to use 5 yards, but I feel like I have to if you are to use it yourself. Um, but no, if you are unfamiliar and this is new to you for the 5 yard stuff, then please go and check out the video I did on possible defenders Blues could look at in the summer, sponsored by 5 yards. I'll leave the link down below for you to check that out. But yeah, so we'll get into, well, I suppose before we get into things immediately, obviously this video is going to be looking at possible midfielders Blues could look at that are on the 5 yard system, as obviously not every single player is on there, but there are plenty of players on there that we can look at today. I do believe I have a total list of 19 players, so this should be interesting, that's for sure. I'll try and be as kind of short but informative as I can be. So it should be good. Before we get going, I forgot to mention in the last video about the defenders that I actually have a budget given to me by 5 yards for this video. A budget on seven, I think the budget is £17 million. That's based on averages of how much Blues have spent in recent years, plus an extra few million on top of that, just to spice it up a little bit. And I also was supposed to pick one of the defenders I looked at, and then try and take their price off my budget. So, without further ado, before I get into midfielders, I'm going to choose my defender now and let you know. Well, I've already chosen him, so I'll just tell you now. But it was Rob Atkinson of Oxford United, 22-year-old centre back. He's actually playing in the playoffs today. So that's exciting. Go check that out to get a glimpse of him if you haven't already. So yeah, I'm going for him. His price is 4.5 million. So that's 4.5 million off my 17 million budget, which will leave me with 13.5 million, I believe. But yeah, so that's how much budget we have left now. And I can take that 13.5 million into today's video. And yeah, just buy a midfielder really, but also look at all the other targets that I've listed. So it should be interesting. If you haven't checked out 5 yards, please do already. Go check out and click the link down below. It's appreciated more than you know. But yeah, and also a big thank you again to 5 yards for continuing to sponsor our content. That's very much appreciated. But without further ado, really, we'll get straight into things. Let's look at what midfielders I've listed for Blues. So not all of them are massively realistic. I understand that, but I feel like these are just some targets that interested me personally that I feel like could improve Blues. So we will start off with Swindon Town midfielder Scott Twine, who's had quite a breakthrough season this year at Swindon. Very talked about. Good sort of attacking midfielder. He's 21 years old, nationality English. His current 5 yards price is £12 million. So that would literally wipe out my budget. So I don't think I will be buying Scott, unfortunately. Obviously, down here, like I said before, you can see the rise in their player price. You can see their performance pay and all that. So yeah, Scott Twine. There's not too much information on the website, unfortunately, regarding him, but he is on there. Just so you know. Next one, not one that I see possible for Blues. Certainly isn't within my budget, that's for sure. And that's Harvey Elliott, currently at Blackburn. Well, his loan will be up now, but he was on loan from Liverpool, 18 years old. Obviously started out at Fulham. His position is winger slash midfielder. Nationality English. His current 5 yards price is 48 million, so a bit too much of a stretch for me. His performance pay this season is 810k, so a good return. That's with being a part of 9 Blackburn wins, 7 goals, and 11 assists. So fantastic statistics for him. And then we look at player price, and from from July 1st, it's risen from 30 million all the way to 48 million, which he hit in December. So it's a very impressive turnaround for him over the last year or so. So the 5-year scouting community opinion, we'll look at this. Player rating, his level right now is 72, but his potential is 91. Now, I did go through what this means in the last video, but just to recap, 95 means world class, 85 means Champions League, Premier League is 75, Championship is 65. So right now he's in the Championship. His level is Championship level, but he's not far off Premier League. But his potential is Champions League, so that's huge. We'll look at his attributes. He's rated highly by 5 yards. His technique is also very high. Finishing is all right. Dribbling very good. Speed all right. Aerial ability is very poor. Defensive duels isn't great. Work rate is all right. Passing is good, but his creativity is phenomenal. So good little graph for you there. And then we've also got, like I said before, you've got scout reports from other people that have wrote reports for 5 yards. He believes his level right now is 75, which is Premier League, and his potential is 95, which is world class. It's very, very big rating for him. He rates his technique very highly, his finishing very good, his dribbling fantastic, speed good, aerial ability poor, defensive duels average, work rate good, passing very good, and creativity also very, very good. So we've got a bit of information down here on him as well. So his team system and role within it, a very creative player who mostly plays wide on the right and comes in to provide creativity and goals for his team. He's been on loan at Blackburn this season, where he's been used in a number of different positions and roles by Tony Mowbray, still learning and developing different aspects of his game. Long term, I believe he'll mostly play as an inside forward off the right, where he is comfortable at getting the ball and coming inside and impacting on games. Good assessment there. Shout out to believe the scout we are looking at right now is where is it? Here we go. Ossian Ellis. So thank you, Ellis. Who's been joined in February 2021. His profit is 33.4 million on 5 yards, which is I think it's about 30 quid or something like that. I'm not sure. It might be 300. I can't remember the 5 yards pricing, but if you've watched the first video, then you'll know. His scout rating is 55, so not too bad either. Also, some other stuff he's wrote is his style of play, loves to come inside and link up with teammates with wonderful vision and great passing ability, and his close control means that it's very difficult for defenders to get the ball off him. So obviously the reason I've listed Harvey Elliott personally is he's a very highly rated and talented youngster who I believe could be a loan target for Blues. I don't think it's out of our reach personally, but it could be. He might be looking for more of a Premier League loan next season, but time will tell. Obviously, he's also wrote here what club would be perfect for Harvey. He says, I think he'll be perfect for Liverpool in the future, playing the role currently occupied by Mo Salah, where he starts out on the right but is free to roam inside and create openings. A very useful tactic against teams who like to defend against Liverpool with a low block. His ability to come inside and use vision and technical ability to find openings for himself and his teammates will be a paramount. So that's good. His physical traits has a very low center of gravity and very quick feet, making it very hard for defenders to tackle him without fouling. And then lastly, but not least, mentality. A very confident player who knows that he has the ability to go right to the top. He showed his maturity and confidence when he played for Fulham at 16 and has shown this again this season at Blackburn, stepping up and being their most creative player and one of the most creative players in the whole division, which is, a testament to do that at 18 years old in the Championship. It's very impressive, but Blues have, I suppose, familiar experience with talented youngsters who are very creative in the Championship at a teenage age, i.e. Jude Bellingham. But yeah, so that's it from Harvey Elliott. Who have we got next? James Garner, obviously on loan at Nottingham Forest right now from Man United, 20 years old, central midfielder. Current 5 yards price is £21 million, and his performance pay this season is 450k. He's been involved in 10 Nottingham Forest wins and scored 4 goals and assisted 1 goal. His 5 yards value has rose from 20 million from February 4th all the way to 21 million in April, on April 12th. So there you are. So going down, we do have two scout reports on him. One from Eduardo Martinez that we're going to look at right now. He believes his level right now is 65, so that's Championship, but his potential is 75, which is Premier League. So nothing too overhyped, but still good. You know, Premier League future there, which is always good to see. He rates his technique highly, finishing is okay, dribbling's good, speed average, aerial ability average, defensive duels quite high. So obviously this graph should be displayed on your screen right now as well. His work rate is good, his passing is fantastic, and his creativity is all right as well. So we've got some information down here on him as well that I'll read out to you. So team system and role within it. James Garner works best as a defensive midfielder, and he can either do it in a 4-4-3, a 4-3-3 even. Hang on. Yeah, a 4-3-3, or work well in a pivot with a more offensive player next to him. So, you know, that's always good to see. I like midfielders that can play that pivot role. I think it can be a crucial part for the team. It kind of gives off that prime Dele Alli vibe back when he was on fire in like 2016. But yeah, so style of play, his style of play is similar to that of Michael Carrick, or in terms of a more modern footballer, that of Frankie de Jong. He can bring the ball out from the back and has an eye for a pass. A long ball is not out of the realms of possibilities, and is able to play the easy pass or pick a forward pass as well. Shades of Michael Carrick. What club would he be perfect for? He's a good player for Forest and could eventually do well at United. However, the next step for him would be a club a bit lower. I think Brighton would be the perfect destination. Physical traits, he still needs to grow a bit more and fill up a bit, but he has a good size. Mentality, Manchester United Academy players have a good mentality, good foundation. Garner in particular looks like a leader on the pitch and has that mentality. And then additional info, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer might consider bringing him back to Old Trafford at some point, but his best possible move would be another PL club, as he will get more playing time. So decent review there from Eduardo. So thank you for that. Moving on, next player, who have we got? Josh Martin. So he's a winger for Norwich, 19 years old. I picked him as a possible loan target. His current 5 yards price is £19 million, and then his performance paid this season is 180k, being involved in 4 Norwich wins, 1 goal and 1 assist. So that's good. And then we do have 1 scout report down here as well. Player rating 70. So his Championship right now, his potential is 84, which is just below Champions League. So, you know, high Premier League, which is, you know, it's a high rating, really. I think that's very impressive. We'll see whether he goes on to do that. Who knows? Then another graph here to look at. Just before we wrap up on Josh, his technique is all right, finishing quite poor, dribbling very good, speed very good, aerial ability poor, defensive duels poor, work rate good, passing all right, creativity good. So nothing too spectacular, but definitely promising for a young lad. So thank you for that one, Sammy. So what other players have we got to look at? Anthony Gordon, who's currently on loan at Preston from Everton, is another one I've selected, who can play a central midfield role or a wing, a winger, or any of those sort of attacking areas in the midfield. He's 20 years old. Obviously, I've already said he's on loan from Everton at Preston right now. He'll be available probably for another loan next season. His current 5 yards price is £18 million, and his performance pay this season is 160k. And that's just from being involved in 2 wins for Preston this season, one in the Championship and then one in the Cup, I think. But that's all there is on him. Moving on, Jack Clark. He was rumoured to be coming to Blues when Karanka was in charge, but that loan deal fell through. Currently of Tottenham Hotspur, obviously formerly of Leeds. He's on loan at Stoke this season. He's been on loan at QPR as well. He's 20 years old. He's another winger. Current Fiveyards price is £18 million, and his performance pay this season is 60k. So that's from 1 win in the championship and 1 assist. And that's all there is to say about Jack Clark. Next one is Kieran Dewsberry Hall, who's obviously been at Luton Town this season on loan from Leicester City. 22 years of age, central midfielder. Current price is 12 million on Fiveyards, and then his performance pay this season is quite good, 630k, and that's being involved in 12 Luton wins, 3 goals and 6 assists. And then that's all there is on him. So another decent target there. Another lad who I picked out, obviously Blues will be familiar with him recently, as he put, I think he scored a hat trick against Blues. All 3 of them were stunning goals as well. That seems to kind of be his forte, really, and that's Harry Wilson, 24 years of age, can play sort of a central attacking mid role or a wide role. Currently on loan at Cardiff from Liverpool. I imagine he'll be looking for a more permanent move now, away from Liverpool, being at the age of 24. I don't see him getting in that squad. His current 5 yards price is £11 million, and his performance pay this season is 960k. So that's from being involved in 14 championship wins, 7 goals and 11 assists. So very impressive stats. And then obviously he's had former loan spells at Derby County, where he fared well under Frank Lampard. We do have some scout reports down here, one from Dan Evans, who recommends him as a decent buy, and then one from Courtney, who recommends him to be a strong buy. Her profile picture is actually with Harry Wilson, so I'm not surprised she recommends him as a strong buy. But yeah, so scout rating of Dan Evans is 40, so we'll look at him. We'll look at his report. So right now he rates Harry Wilson a 72, which is championship level, but his potential is 81, which I believe is high Premier League. So, another big shout. He's the graph here shows that his technique is good, finishing is good, dribbling is all right, speed is all right, aerial ability poor, defensive duels poor, work rate decent, passing decent, creativity good. So that's all good to see. And then we've also got some extra information on him here, which I'll read out to you, that looks quite interesting. So team, system and role within it. Cardiff have moved between a 4-4-2 and a 4-2-3-1 throughout this season, with Wilson either playing on the right side of a midfielder or as a more traditional number 10 behind the striker. Style of play, Wilson is all about getting dangerous deliveries into the box or getting shots off at goal in and around the penalty area, whilst it is in the Welshman's long-range strikes that have caught the eye throughout his career. His crossing ability, either from set pieces or from open play, is still not fully appreciated. He already has 4 assists and has created 4 big chances in 12 championship starts this season. So, good stats. Shades of Dimitri Payet. What club would he be perfect for? Burnley. Physical traits. Wilson is slight and not particularly quick. But his game is all about what he can do with the ball at his feet rather than using his physicality to dominate games. Or getting in behind defensive with his pace. And then his mentality, lastly, after making his Wales debut at the age of just 16 in 2013, big things were expected of Wilson. Whilst it took until a loan spell at Hull in 2018 for him to make an impact in senior football, he has been a consistently effective presence in loan spells at Derby, Bournemouth and now Cardiff. Showing he's more than willing to drop down to the Championship in order to forge a career for himself instead of remaining a backup player at Liverpool. So that's the end of that report. Thank you, Dan. It's on to the next target now, really, guys, which is Jason Malumbi, currently on loan at Preston. Has had loan spells at Millwall. He's on loan from Brighton, I believe. He's 21 years old, central midfielder from Ireland. His current price is 9.5 million. His performance pay this season is 60k. So that's from being in 1 Preston win and getting 1 assist. His prize has rose from 8 million up to 10 million this season. And here is one scout report on him it's from John Smith, your standard name. Recommendation, he's a strong buy. His level right now is 64, which I believe is just below Championship, actually. So that's High League One. But his potential is 77, which I believe is just about Premier League. So, very honest there. Decent young player. His technique, average. Finishing, not great. Dribbling, average. Speed, all right. Aerial ability, decent. Defensive duels, very good. Work rate, very good. Passing, all right. Creativity, not great. So yeah, more of a sort of a defensive midfielder, I'd say. Team system and role within it. Watched him play as a defensive midfielder for Millwall last season. The Millwall side was a well-drilled Gary Rowett side with emphasis on being hard to beat. Still yet to find a way into the Brighton team. So good assessment there. Then we've got a bit more about him down here. Style of play: a box-to-box midfielder, strong for his age and frame. He likes to put his foot in and do the dirty work in the middle of the park, but also has composure on the ball. He can dribble his way out of trouble and find the right pass to set up an attacking move. Occasional moments of skill, but that's not what his main game is. And yes, you'd expect terrific work rate, which is why he is so highly rated at the Den. So yeah, that's good to see. Shades of his Irish compatriot, I can't speak, Roy Keane. So yeah, obviously he compares him to Roy Keane, which is always great to see. I'm pretty sure he's just been inducted in the Premier League Hall of Fame. So, high praise there. What club would he be perfect for? Millwall, of course, but any Championship team in the defensive counter-attacking style would like him in the middle. So I think he could be a good fit for Blues personally. That's just me. Physical traits, not the biggest, but strong and can hold his own in the middle of the park. Mentality, seems unflappable when under pressure, often makes the right decision, still young, occasionally quiet, especially towards the end of the game. Additional info: I'd like to see him playing regularly, as I think that will help him develop more than waiting for an opportunity at Brighton, brackets, where he has been on the bench or been played out of position, close brackets. So thank you for that, John. Decent little report there. So the next target I picked out is Paddy McNally. At Middlesbrough, 26 years of age, central midfielder from Northern Ireland. His 5-yards price is £6 million. His performance pay this season is 810k. So that's very, very good. He's been part of 18 wins for Middlesbrough this season and scored 2 goals and 7 assists. Very impressive. And then we have one scout report here from Michael Smith. So let's have a look at him. His level right now is 71, he believes, player rating. So that's high Championship. He believes he could be a 77. That's his potential. So that's, just about Premier League. And then we've got a little graph here as usual. Good technique, poor finishing, poor dribbling, not the fastest, good, decent aerial ability, good defensive duels, very good work rate, very good passing, decent creativity. So interesting there. And then we have some additional information here as well from his tactical and technical. So tactical and technical, and we'll look at that now. So style of play, solid reading of the game. If a little undersized in defence, wicked assist, free kick taker. Shades of... well, I can't speak. Sorry, it's quite hard to read. The English isn't fantastic on this one. But yeah, he's got shades of David Luiz. Probably not good enough to play under the wrong manager at mid-table Premiership level. So what club would he be perfect for? He's wrote Crystal Palace. Physical traits: quick enough with his game reading, but needs a taller. Need to be a bit taller. If he wanted to be a centre back. Mentality: solid under pressure, drives forward adequately, and can play a killer ball. So this is all very brief, tough to read as well at times, but thank you anyway, Michael. Some additional information he's wrote here as well. Young, not destined for a top team, but suits teams building from the back that look that like a whipped free kick into the box, which, to be honest, I think could be good for Blues. And his 5-yards price is 6 million. So Right now he's definitely getting my vote, that's for sure. Who's next? Again, another one close to home, but I felt like I had to include this one because he'd just be massive if Blues can land him again. And that's Alan Halilovic. Obviously, right now still at Blues, but Blues have offered him a new contract and hopefully he signs it. 24 years of age, attacking midfielder from the Netherlands. No, not the Netherlands, from Croatia. His current price is £5 million. His performance pay this season is 120k. And that's from being involved in 3 championship wins and scoring 1 goal. So yeah, his price has pretty much remained 5 million all season. No reports wrote on him, but I think that's my pick so far. Alen Halilovic, I just want Blues to get him back, to be honest. I don't need to give you any information on him really, because we all know what he's capable of, don't we? So yeah, then the next one I have listed, I've still got quite a few to go through, to be fair, is Ronan Curtis of Portsmouth, 25 years old. He's a winger from Ireland, 8 million price on 5Yards. Not had his best season this season, as Portsmouth have struggled a bit. His 5Yards value has declined from 10 million to 8 million this season, and that's all there is on him, but still a decent player and could have a career in the Championship, I believe. Next one is Scott Fraser, formerly of Burton Albion, moved to MK Dons, has been very successful since he moved to MK Dons. 26 years old, central midfielder from Scotland. Current price is £5 million. And that's all there is to say about him from the the stats provided on 5Yards. But I know he's had a very good season since he joined MK Dons, and they rate him highly there. And he was all right at Burton as well. Next one is Charlie Kirk, so a winger / attacking midfielder from Crewe. His current price is 4.5 million. Do you know what? That might have actually just stole my pick. He's only 23 years old. I highly rate him, and I think he could bring a lot to Blues. I'm trying to save as much money for the strikers video, so when I do that, I can spend big. But yeah, so his value has increased from 4 million from December up to 4.5 million in February. So same price as Rob Atkinson, really, of Oxford, who was my first buy from my £17 million budget. So I might be selecting Charlie Kirk at this rate to try and stick to that and then spend big on an attacker. I have already listed some strikers for that video when I record it and it comes out. So keep an eye out for that. Should be good. Next one is Elliot Embleton, currently of Blackpool, on loan from Sunderland, 22 years old, attacking midfielder, nationality English, current price is £4 million. Good season at Blackpool. He's been really good for them and key in their playoff race. We do have a scout report down here from Roker Report. So yeah, he's recommended him as a strong buy. There seems to be a lot of detail on this one, so I'll get right into it. Right now, his level is 50, which is League One, but his potential is 75, which is Premier League. So fair play, decent potential. His creativity is very good. His technique is very good. Finishing is decent. Dribbling is good. Speed is all right. Aerial ability poor. Defensive duels poor, work rate good, passing very good, creativity very, very good. So yeah, that graph should appear for you up on the screen. Oh my God, there's a lot to read on this one. I'll try and get through it as quick as I possibly can, so it's not too long for you, but trust me, there is a lot there. Under Phil Parkinson, Sunderland have adapted a 3 at the back system with wing backs. In this system, Embleton can be utilised as a 10 behind 2 strikers. Slightly wider as a wide attacking midfielder or deeper in central midfield. Embleton's role in Sunderland's system is to be creative. The players who Parkinson deploys closest to Charlie Wyke are the ones who regularly make things happen, as seen with Chris Maguire and Lyndon Gooch. With Sunderland being set up to be a solid defensively and with Grant Leadbitter sat deeper to support 3 centre-backs, Players like Embleton are used to feed the wing backs and create clear-cut chances for the forwards with defensive splitting passes. The 21-year-old has just recovered from a long-term hamstring injury, which limited his first-team opportunities. However, since he has returned to fitness, he's been in. I can't. This is. Yeah, the grammar on this one isn't fantastic, but oh well. He put in a man of the match display in the Papa John's Trophy against Fleetwood and has been backed by Parkinson to break into the first 11. Embleton scored a brace for Sunderland under-23s in a 2-0 victory against Aston Villa. Oh, we love that. On his second match back from injury, and has looked very sharp in his time with the first team so far this season. With an array of England youth caps behind him, combined with a successful loan spell at League Two side Grimsby, Roker Report are incredibly confident that Embleton will become a regular part of Sunderland's first team at some point. It's another long one, but I'll just read a bit of the style of play. Embleton is the type of player who seeks to the hub of the creativity for the team, and he's constantly looking to possess the ball and make something happen. So, very creative midfielder, I gather from that. Shades of, so he's not actually said a player for that one. He's just said what team he'd be good for, and that team is just anyone who plays attractive Premier League football. So he said Brighton. And then, here we go. He has wrote down similar players. He said he's similar to Adam Lallana. Physical traits, 5-star weak foot. Flipping heck, he's talking about it like he's from FIFA. Takes corners and free kicks with both feet. Dead ball specialist and a long shot taker. His mentality is good going forward and defending at times. Additional info: Embleton was part of the Sunderland under-23 side who reached the PL International Cup final against Porto B in 2017. So yeah, that's always good to see, really, isn't it? Moving on from Embleton, who have I got next? I don't think there's too many more. Just 3 more here. So we'll look at these and then have done with. So Josh Sims, currently at Doncaster. I believe he's on loan from Southampton, 24 years old, winger, English, 4 million price at the moment. And that's all that there is to be said on him. His price has decreased, though, this season on Fiveyards. So another decent winger that I picked out there. Another player who's quite close to home for Blues, and Blues fans will be familiar with. He's currently at Blackpool, and that is Bez Labala. So age 23. He's a winger but can play central attacking midfielder. His current Fiveyards price is £2 million, which I think is a bargain. Because he has shown some very promising signs, especially when he was at Crawley. He really tore things up there. And then kind of moving on from that. I hope he does well for Blackpool in the playoffs as well. But the last player who I have to show is Mark Sykes of Oxford, who's also in the playoffs today. So age 23, central midfielder, Irish, current Fiveyards price is £3 million. And that's all that there is to be said on him on his profile. So that's all the players, guys, really. But I am going to select Charlie Kirk of Crew Alexandra. If any of you have seen anything of him this season, whether that be on Quest or, any EFL highlights, if you haven't already, then please go and check him out. He looks like a really, really promising attacking footballer for Crew. Did really well in League One a couple of seasons ago and has excelled again in League Two, and has excelled again in League One for the newly promoted Crew side, who have overachieved this season, and he's been a big part of that. A good lad as well, seems nice off the pitch as well. So for 4.5 million, I think that's a bargain. So that's I've spent a total of £9 million now of my £17 million budget. So that leaves me with £8 million for the attackers video. So hopefully I could buy a good striker for £8 million, but we shall see. Anyway, guys, that's everything from me. Thank you to Fiveyards for sponsoring yet another video. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please drop a like. And also leave your comments down below for any strikers you want me to look at for the third and final part of the Fiveyards series. But yeah, that's everything from me, guys. Also, check out that Patreon link if you fancy it, and I shall see you in the next one. Keep right on.